art has always been a big part of my life, but it found kind of a wayward way of reconnecting with me. I only started really seriously pursuing art 6 years ago, when I was 30 years old. Until then, I led many different lives. I worked in physics for a while. I did digital marketing as a career. There was many pleasant detours, but eventually, art found a way to creep back into my life, and I haven't looked back since then. I've been painting passionately for 6 years now. Um, that passion came from my background. I grew up in a family of painters, so my grandparents are also oil painters. Um, my mother's a painter. My uncle's a painter. Um, I was the kid eating paint chips all the time. Uh, Not my proudest moment. But growing up in that environment, I think also helped demystify what it takes to create art. I think oftentimes people sort of elevate and exalt this creative process as this almost sacred thing that's inaccessible to most. And I'm really grateful to have seen this as a child and be able to demystify it and realize that art is just keeping that child part in you alive, right? And not learning to not let the rules and the constraints of growing up limit you. Um, so I wanted to show you guys today a film I put together that acts some of the paintings I've made. They're seeded to have made this film. I wanted to take what seems like a pretty disjointed narrative of works. You can see here some of my most recent stuff. Um, I can't really say that I have a style. Things have been very eclectic. Um, but in the long story short, I just paint what I feel. It's been a real release of concepts that I just do not know how to put into words. And some of these paintings you will see in a different form in this film I'm about to show you. They're the seeds of the film. Um, the film is called In the Garden of Reality, There Are Many Illusions. So the film is a meditation on the illusory nature of reality and how we are often bound by our own perceptions of things, how those perspectives can change, and suddenly you are seeing things in a whole new light. It's also a meditation on personal transformation, change, the pain that comes with change, um, and uh, and later on, if you guys are interested, I've left a portfolio of my works, so feel free to scroll through if you have a moment. But without further ado, sharing the film.
In the garden of reality, there are many illusions. The tower appeared first, solid and its dark stone rising. Figures emerged, drawn toward. Was the tower, or was it only the shadow of a tower, a memory of something? The all cool, promising transformation, but perhaps it was only light, mirage. They took the leap of faith, energy flowing from a wind, blue light. The figures became part of the stream, trusting the current, but faith itself. They had in leaping reality. The illusion certain, certain, crossing bird, human, their forms. Some struggled, one face looking out with wide eyes, seeing forms they took, or were they illusions, masks, memories slipping, certainty. on the other shore, being be here now, it seemed, but was the flower smelled sweet, that sweetness in flower. In the garden of reality, even presence, the illusion that this moment they found a woman. The cycle of rest, but cycles themselves are illusions. We impose on chaos. Stories we tell. The sun's one. Or were they only the illusion of sea? Two women reached for glowing harvest promised tonight. But were the fruits real? Or were they the illusion of promise of something? In reaching, they created the reality of desire. The illusion of need became a blue figure finds empty. She drank the trees, becoming one with nature. But was this unity real, or the illusion? The boundaries dissolved, but were they ever there? Perhaps separation itself, or perhaps three figures knelt, heads bowed under a weight, first consumed them. Light shone above, but perhaps the light was the illusion. Perhaps they were already faded, only believed. The storm came, our burning natural forces overwhelmed. Fire, wind, water beams. But was the conflict real? Was it the illusion? Fire, dancing in a fantasy. The destruction was real, but the meaning of destruction, that was the story told. Tree, plants tended, transformation was real. Was the pain, or was it the illusion? The story that grew. The growing pains were real. The narrative became nightmares. The dance was real. The movement was real. It was the separation. Or was it the illusion of isolation? Perhaps they were all connected and only believed themselves. Conflict between movement or the illusion. An ocean stretched to glowing orbs rising. The vastness, the immensity. But were the guides, or were they the illusion? Promises, they followed people, trusting them, but perhaps trust itself. A portal with theory, but was a portal real? Perhaps they were always on the other side, only believed that passage was real, but the meaning of passage an illusion. A blue figure reached. The encounter was real. but were the guides for protection. The encounter happened. A woman cradled a creature. The nurturing was real. Care was real. But was the creature, or was it the illusion? Perhaps she was caring for herself, and the creature was only a mirror. The act of nurturing was real, but the object of nurturing that might be illusion. Mother Nature appeared, surrounded by all creatures, holding them. The harmony was visible, the interconnectedness, or was it the illusion of the story we tell about nature's balance? Perhaps chaos, harmony. Two figures appeared, blindfolded, covering their eyes. They released the need. But was blindness, or was it the illusion of dancing? Perhaps they saw more clearly with eyes, and sight itself was there. The release was real, release that might hammer judgment. The hammer was real, its weight was real, but was the judgment, or was it the illusion? The story we tell about the court. Perhaps there was no fact. A powerful bird soared over the structures floated. The crossing passage, that wasn't fun, or was it the illusion? Perhaps there was no final crossing, only endless destination. In the garden of reality, there are many, but perhaps the greatest illusion, distinction. Perhaps the garden itself is both real, illusion. Perhaps the only truth is that we walk in the garden, and whether what we see is real or illusion matters less. That we experience it, that we are here in this moment, in this garden, among the many beautiful, terrible, necessary.
Thanks everyone for watching.